What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're having a very blessed and wonderful day. Today's video topic is going to be us recapping all of the information that we got from the second Insider episode regarding the gear and loot system specifically, right? Everything that we're going to be pretty much experiencing once we can get our hands on the game. And if I can speak freely, one of the reasons why I am genuinely excited is because I've talked about this on Twitter as well. This Insider episode showed us everything that we pretty much begged to get in Avengers and Gotham Knights. Suicide Squad is going to have all of this stuff at release. Now, this isn't about if whether or not other games in this genre have it, because people have definitely been trying to kick down my door just to preach it to me. You know, this is nothing special. It's in this game and that game and this game and that game and da. We've had to go 2 superhero games in this genre as of recent. I either never had it, got it way too late, or we did get it, but it was half-assed and not fleshed out, right? And because of that, that's why things are looking on the bright side so far, because we're getting these things from the jump like we should have in those previous games. That's a reason for why, again, you know, Avenger and Gotham Knights fans that are coming to Suicide Squad are happy. They have a reason to be happy. So please, if y'all don't know the history, just let us be. So the first thing that I want to get into here regarding the gear and loot system are the weapon manufacturers. So the manufacturers who play a fairly decent role in choosing how you want your weapons to feel and operate, because as stated in the video, the guns do not all work the same. So for now, we have 4 manufacturers that we know of. That's LexCorp, Amertech, Star Labs, and GCPD. Now, LexCorp guns are very precise with their shots, right? It's fine-tuned to a sense where it was all, like I said in the video, it was almost scientifically crafted to get the maximum amount of potential for it. In the video right there, you just saw a Star Labs gun, right? But we're talking about LexCorp. Now, for LexCorp guns, I would say like burst weapons in a sense. Like for all of my Apex players, think like the Hemlock or the Nemesis burst they are. Now, Amertech, for example, that manufacturer is all about the power, fast fire rate, and the shots have an insane kick to them. Now, this mechanic can be found in other games, but I'm sure that the main one that comes to mind for a lot of people is the Borderlands series. Funny enough, we actually did cover Tiny Tina's Wonderlands here on the channel before, and Tales from the Borderlands is still my favorite in the series. Now, in Borderlands, there are tons of manufacturers, and they all have their own crazy gimmicks. Now, giving you the base version of, when I say base version, I mean just the basis of what they can do, because I'm not going to run down, you know, like everything that happens with these guns and their manufacturers. Atlas, which is the first one, they offer above average damage and magazine capacity. Hyperion, another manufacturer, they offer very high recoil reduction and accuracy. Tedior, which is actually my favorite, lore-wise, Tedior is the company that you go to buy guns from whenever you need them for like very cheap. Like I'm talking like literally throw away cheap, because the whole thing with Tedior is whenever you need to reload, if you don't have another clip, you can literally just toss your gun and the gun blows up like a grenade. You can toss the gun out like a grenade, and then you just spawn a new one out of nowhere, like Reaper from Overwatch. And I love it. That's my favorite manufacturer in Borderlands. Now, the reason why I do enjoy this is because it adds another layer to the build crafting. The base weapon pool is already pretty big with weapons and weapon classes across the board. Borderlands did a great job at not only making their weapons match the personality of the manufacturers, but they also weave the manufacturers into the story and DLC of the games pretty decently. Now it seems Rocksteady also took that approach in the way that they talk about them in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. LexCorp weapons feel very precise, right? A specific recoil and spread pattern, like the shots were being tossed through a computer program every time you fired the gun. And Amertech, being a, you know, American military company, and as we know, Americans, they sure do love their firepower over anything else, so got a hard kick with everything it is that you buy. With Amertech, if you want every shot to feel like a kick in the nuts or the steel-toed boot, then that's the gun that you want to use. Now, if handled right, because I don't believe it will reach Borderlands 3 levels, because that game has close to 1 billion guns. It might sound weird, but that's an actual number. It might really be more, because that's counting base guns and then so many variations of those guns that all end up feeding into that number. I'm expecting Suicide Squad to have a healthy amount of base guns and variations and perks that all come with these guns. It doesn't have to be the same amount as Borderlands, but just enough to keep things interesting for a while. Having the ability to hit up Penguin in order to craft weapons from certain manufacturers is great, because Avengers didn't have that. Gotham Knights did, but it was really only crafting, right? You couldn't craft like a specific mod. You pretty much just tossed a bunch of mods together, and it was randomized on whether or not you was gonna get a health mod, you was gonna get a critical mod, you was gonna get an element. It was randomized, right? You couldn't specifically pick which one you wanted. Now, the reason why this is so important to me is that you can upgrade the weapon after getting it, so it won't be a useless pickup every time. They mentioned that before in the videos as well. Every weapon that you get is fully upgradable, so you can take that weapon as you go and just keep re-rolling stats, do whatever it is you need to do in order to keep that gun with you, right? And the reason why I like that is because I am positive at some point everybody has come across a weapon, a gun, a sword, a bat, whatever it may be. They got it and they found a better weapon later on. And that sucked, because that meant you were going to end up using that better weapon, and the one that you like got pushed to the side. You might not have to do that anymore, depending on just how much you can upgrade the weapons in Suicide Squad. But the fact that it's an option here in general is just dope. Now, next up for gear and things, we got Gizmo. Not the kid version from, you know, the old 16 Titans that very much looks like Baby Boss. Sorry, Boss Baby in a goddamn green jumpsuit. But, you know, the normal one, the normal Gizmo, who's still small, but looks like he can definitely knock back a 12-pack on St. Patrick's Day with ease and not be a single bit phased. So Gizmo's job is to provide us with another form of traversal by way of taking cars off the street and then turning them into flying cars that are meant to blow shit up. So this isn't the first time that the Arkham games offered us a car to run around in and cause mayhem with. One thing that Arkham Knight is notorious for is the Batmobile, both good and bad. And it seems like Rocksteady is definitely going for round 2 in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, we've only seen these cars in battle mode, right? Whenever they're going around shooting at enemies. We don't really know if there's going to be an option to use them to get around the city, but we do know that they can definitely be used in combat. Now, I kind of hope so, because that would definitely be a missed chance right there. Like, we have flying cars. Right? Why not make that a whole 5th traversal option? Because I'm pretty sure that would be something that a lot of people will love. You got people doing drive-bys with Deadshot in a flying Oldsmobile. That honestly, it seems like the funniest thing ever. It seems like a missed chance if it's not there. But I mean, hey, if it's not there, it is what it is. Another thing that I do like that a lot of other people miss is that the cars can hold at most, as far as we know, 2 people. I don't know if the whole team can get in there, but it can hold at least 2 people. If you look close in this screenshot right here, you can see both Deadshot and Boomerang hopping out of the car. Deadshot was the one driving, so you got a driver and you got a shooter. Now, I imagine you will be able to control a car by yourself if you are planning on playing solo, but I am just pointing out that you can have a buddy join you in the car as well, if that is something that you wish to do. Now, moving over to Toyman. He's our go-to man for modifying our gear. Now, another thing Avengers and Gotham Knights didn't have. Actually, hold on, because I lied. Gotham Knights kind of had this, but with their mod system, you could combine mods to create a new one, but it didn't really work past epic rarity, the purple one, which made heroic, legendary, and mythic mods kind of pointless to combine because you can never get anything higher than an epic. Now, in Suicide Squad, you will be able to re-roll the augments for a chance at better stats. You are not stuck with what you get the first time around. And the great thing about this is that you can re-roll everything: guns and melee weapons, shield mods, traversal mods, and grenades. They're really trying to hone in on the play this game the way that you want to play it aspect of everything, and I like that. Now, moving on to Hack, which is the digital character that you've been seeing in all the trailers. She is our girl whenever it comes to messing with our skill trees. By tampering with our neck bombs, she gives us the ability to mess with our skill trees going forward in the game. So it seems like each character has about 3 different trees, all filled with options that heavily affect gameplay. Now that we can get a better look at the trees, and we might actually be able to respect them instead of just picking an ability and then going about our day, right? It's not just unlocked and it stops there. I think we'll have the ability to pick certain skills that will fit into that specific playstyle, and some of that tends to bleed over into the combo system, which in short is the higher and faster that you can build a combo, the more abilities or talents that you can have active at a single time. Now, jumping into what the villain gear sets can do, right? Because we got to look at, I believe, 2 of them. First up, we got Bane's Rage. Now, this part I'm ripping right from the insider. So landing a critical hit drops a power up that can infuse other weapons with Bane's Rage, making them more powerful. So it's pretty much a damage increase for the most part. Now, in Black Mass's Bullet Storm, if I read this correctly, Bullet Storm and Molten Shield work in tandem. Bullet Storm made King Shark immune to damage, which is kind of broken if you ask me, but honestly, I love it. Now, Afflictions, which in other terms could maybe be called elemental damage, is something that we get after meeting Kid Ivy. Now, Afflictions can be applied to every weapon, ranged, melee, and grenades, and there's even a supercharged section that I want to know more about whenever we get our hands on the game, because I'm not gonna lie, that definitely seems nuts. The first affliction that we have is Fire, which comes from the villain Diablo. Now, Diablo lets you light enemies up and set them on fire, but you can't shield harvest them. Freeze, which is Deep Freeze, that freezes enemies in place, but they take very little damage from melee attacks and they don't drop ammo on death. And I believe the other 2 that we saw were Poison or Toxic, whatever it is they want to call it, and then Electricity, but we didn't get to see, we didn't get to hear about the details for those 2 specifically. Now, you can have up to 2 afflictions, I believe, in your loadout active at the same time, which should make for some fun combos. I wish you could have more, but I mean, hey, it's 2 for right now. Maybe they'll change in the future. I'm not entirely sure, but it is what it is. But like I said before, it should make for some fun combo setups. Now, this entire video was really just a recap over the gear, if I'm being honest, right? I'm not really trying to hype myself up too much about this, but I'll be damned if I didn't say the game genuinely seems good to me. I said this at the start of the video. If you come from Avengers and Gotham Knights, then you know how bad we had it with those games. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody or throw any shade, but we were in the trenches. We definitely went through 9 circles of hell. Playing those games, defending it, giving it chance after chance. We rarely saw like real moments of peace. So I'm not lying when I say this, but we definitely need a win. Now, Avengers was too focused on the story content and not the live service aspect. Gotham Knights, it feels like the live service aspect was ripped from it, like we were playing the bones of what that game was meant to be. All I'm saying is the term third time's the charm exists for a reason. That's really the whole point of what I was trying to get to. Will this game go on for the next 10 years? Maybe not. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really need it to. I just need the game to be solid. Give us a good year or 2 good content so we can break this cycle and help improve the stigma on superhero multiplayer games, because things ain't really looking so hot right now. If the games end up going longer for 2 years, then great, wonderful. I will be here as long as the game is here and as long as they continue to pump out great or decent content. As long as they continue to hit us with everything, hey, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. But with all of that being said, that's definitely gonna go ahead and bring us to the end of the video. So I hope that you all have had a very decent time. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about the gear and loadout system. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What would you change? What are you expecting? Right? Let's go ahead and start a dialogue. And again, if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and smack that notifications bell so you won't ever miss out on any of my future Suicide Squad related content. And I will catch y'all in the moonlight. Peace.